Hey, welcome to Lumber Talk with Ashley Buckle from MaterialsExchange.com. We're the only digital marketplace in the lumber industry matching buyers and sellers in a digital platform, a dynamic platform based on the fintech technology that drove the commodity and the stock markets to go from open outcry to a digital platform. We're doing that in lumber. Amazing. So come to mxlumber.com or materialsexchange.com. Hey, so I had a little brief video the other day, but I want to make sure, after hearing all this banter going around in the industry about what lumber's doing, I want to talk a little bit about it. So, introduce myself first. Grew up in the lumber business, have run a bunch of companies, have been at large trading companies, small trading companies, have been very active in the wholesale lumber community at first, then was in the financial side of the lumber business for 10 years, and recently as a co-founder of Materials Exchange. Great opportunity because this is an industry that needs disruption. It's still done the good old-fashioned way and the good old boy network and the call around, and we're going to help make things more efficient and bring more transparency to the market. So let's talk about what's going on in lumber. Gee, if you haven't seen the million videos out there, now everybody at this point probably knows that lumber is selling off. We came off almost $900 a thousand in 30 days. Okay? From an all-time high in the market, we've come off $900 a thousand. Doesn't take a rocket, like my friends always say, a rocket surgeon to know that. So a market update. Lumber. Pacific Northwest down in price. Canada down in price. On the east and the west. South down in price. Panels, OSB and plywood. Starting to see cracks. If you would have been on our calls that we have on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you would have heard about this a month ago. On our platform, we saw panel products already showing up at the retail level being sold back into the market months ago. Heard this week, last week, started out with these big box yards that don't buy on the open market. Think about this. They don't buy on the open market. They buy an index. They are price takers. They like to take product for a long time until they feel some pushback from the users, and then they push it back into the stream. They basically say we don't want it anymore. Started doing that on lumber a month ago. I heard they're starting to do it on panels now. That'll be interesting since there's not as many panel producers, but probably a good inkling, I feel, that that'll get some pushback and pressure on it. And we saw a lot of that stuff coming on our platform last week being sold. So again, I said we've sold off $900. So picking a bottom at this point, if you kind of didn't pick one at this point and you were wrong this whole 900 down, where are you going to try to pick one now? Could it bounce on Monday? Sure. I don't know if it will or not. Maybe it will. There's support on the CME. When I say the CME level, support around the $800 mark. A friend of mine is doing a survey on LinkedIn this week. I'm guessing everybody's going to say it's going to bounce somewhere around here or between here and 700. That's my guess. Nobody has any clue, and nobody should try to be a hero picking a bottom because it's a fool's errand. Again, like I said, fool's errand. Let's talk a little bit about where markets historically like to return to at some point and cost of production, okay? They like to return to cost of production. They like to test through it. It's Econ 101. They test the supply. Historically, that always knocks out or shutters for a short period of time the highest cost tolling facilities, or in this case, mills. Do I think it's going to happen this time? I don't know. So what is the cost of production? Well, up in the British Columbia, it's a lot higher because their logs get priced on a lagging scale and move up with the price of lumber. So here's my advice. Here's the CME, some of the prices on the CME right now. July's at 900, September's at 837. This is all a mill-based price out in British Columbia. November is 754, January 2002 is 725, and March 2022 is 711. Your cost of production isn't that high out there, so if you think you're going to run into problems of cost of production because logs are going to be high, you got an opportunity to hedge that. Okay? Eastern Canada, obviously their logs are a little bit higher also, but their cost of production is nowhere near where they can lock prices in right now. We're coming off historic highs, and we're still at all-time highs relative to where the market's ever traded at. So anybody that wants to lock in risk here can do that, or you can go out and sell forward in the spot market for a long time. What I'm hearing, nobody has any idea what's going on. I heard a guy tell me the other day, I just lost $200 $1,000. $200 $1,000, that's almost $20,000 on a car that he bought 3 days previous. Now those same people made money on the way up too. So again, nobody knows what's going on. It will be interesting to see what that survey is, because these surveys historically, when my friend puts them out on LinkedIn, generally they're pretty good at telling you where the market's going to go, because it generally does the opposite of what everybody thinks. I think everybody's going to pick it bouncing at $700 to $800. If we get a bounce, where do you think we're going to go? Maybe we get a bounce for a month, 30, 60 days. Okay, that sounds fair enough. But I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around hearing people say it's different this time, we're never going back to where we were, and we're going to trade at these higher numbers. I don't know whether we're going to or not, but I do know that higher numbers bring on more production. That's a fact. And I do know that after this COVID situation started remedying itself through different states, less people are sitting at their houses wanting to build that extra addition or the deck on the back. They want to get the heck out and go over to Disney World or somewhere and do some other things. And you're seeing other things starting to loosen up in some other commodities too. Again, I just put the futures prices up here. We were talking spot prices, which are cash prices before that, but these future prices show we're backwardated. What is a backwardated market? It means the price up front and closer is a higher price than the strip going down into the months forward. So, for instance, July's at 900, January 2022 is at 725. Good for longs to roll long, a little bit tougher for shorts to roll short. So a lot of people are probably going to be out there putting numbers and trying to hang numbers on forward pricing. Don't be afraid, if you're a buyer, to bid where you feel you have to bid. If you have prices of something sold and you have good money in them, make your best judgment. If somebody's out there trying to get you to hang a number on something, make sure you have all the information first. If they're trying to forward price you something, make sure you know what the basis is on that item. Make sure you know what the high historical basis is and the low historical basis and the average. Look at the time strip. You can figure out what your price should be. If you don't, find an expert that can help you do that. Don't blindly just go in and give bids to people on something that you don't know what the history of that product is. Learn about it. Educate yourself about it. It's important. So again, we're going to be doing this every few days. I do have some shows on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays I have a couple industry experts I talk about at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're going to stream live to YouTube. And on Thursday I have Matt Lehman, the Lehman Lumber Guide on, that we're going to stream live to you. And on Saturdays I do it. And I'm also going to be intermittently doing some in between. But my goal is to educate people in the industry that are looking for my transparency, especially people that are either new to the industry or part of the chain where they never felt like they were getting enough information and just were blindly giving orders to the same people, trusting that they're getting the best information. And there's a lot of great people in this industry that give great information, but you need to educate yourself in every aspect of it so you're not just sitting there making decisions without having all the arrows in your quiver. Again, my name's Ashley Buckhold with Materials Exchange. You can find my contact information on LinkedIn, or you can send me a note on this chat and I'll get back to you, or on this YouTube. Talk to you soon.